Hi everybody, it's Amrita Krana with Keller Williams. I am at a townhouse in Belleville that the tenant is moving out of. It's actually our townhome that we bought when we first got married, and I'm here and I'm like flooded with so many emotions and memories. But why I'm here to talk about this property is to kind of just highlight and showcase what real estate investments can do for you and your family. So we purchased this property at the peak of the market back in 2008 before it crashed. So it was a new construction, and given the circumstances we were in, we needed to buy, and we bought this property. And we lived here for 7 or 8 years. Then we ended up, all our 3 boys were born here, so it's like very special to us in that regard. And it's a great community, great complex, has a pool, amenities, all that. So we then decided to move into a bigger space. Our family grew and we needed more space, so we wanted to buy a house, which we did. We kept this property, rented it out to 2 different people. And one of them ended up being here for, I think, 5 or 6 years. Great tenant. And then my next tenant was here for about 1 year, who was also between homes. And it was a great experience with both tenants. And literally, this property was lived in by us for 7 years, then rented out for another 7 or 8 years. So all of that equity was paid off, or the mortgage and principal was paid off, and it kept gaining equity, right? So now we own this property, and we are putting it on the market to sell it. And we're going to take those proceeds and do a 1031 exchange to try to buy another multi-unit, whether it's commercial and residential or just a multifamily, going from one door to multiple doors, or taking that money and putting it into a syndication. But there's so many options. But my point to you is, had we not bought this, and one can look at it, oh, you bought it at the peak. Well, we're selling it a little bit above that number anyways. And besides that, we lived in it for 7 years, so we were not paying rent somewhere else. Furthermore, we paid down a bunch of that principal, and now when we cash out, when we sell it, we're walking away with a lot of money that we can now take that fund and put it into either one multifamily big project, or we can divide it and do 2 different multifamily projects. But that's how you start. Like, people don't realize that is, you need something to start with, right? We were fortunate enough that we had what we had to be able to buy this when we first started. And then we've built equity in it. We could take that equity now and go create something bigger and more that can then feed into something else. Like we can go from this and get a 4-unit quadplex, for example, right? Or a duplex or whatever, 2, 3, 4 family. And then we can take that 5-10 years from now, take the equity, leave that standing. You don't have to sell it. You could refi it, take the equity that you build in that property and go get the next one. And this is what you call wealth building. So, this space is so near and dear to my heart because it has so many memories. Oh my gosh. So many memories. And all my babies were born here, right next to the hospital next door. They went to daycare locally. Some of the neighbors that are here are still here, that were here when we were here. But, emotionally, it's time to let it go. So we can build to the next thing. But I really wanted to drive this point home. Wealth building is possible. Don't think that, right now the rates are so high, or right now the prices are so high. I'm shopping. My husband and I are very actively shopping for a property. And if the numbers work, we're buying it. Like, we're going to do a 1031 exchange. We're going to take this money and put it into something else. And I'm not looking at, the rates are so high. Well, so what if the rates are high? Marry the property, date the rate is what they say. Like, the rate is not permanent. You're going to refi it when it comes down. It's not a big deal. And as far as the property is concerned, prices are high. Prices fluctuate, yes. We bought this at a height of the market, and look, we're still cashing out, you know? Look at the numbers, focus on the numbers. Do the numbers work or not? That's your question, and that's what you need to focus on. And if they do, buy it, pick it up. If you want to run it by me, I'm happy to share the spreadsheets we use to calculate our ROI. You know, there's multiple ways of looking at it. Is it cash on cash? Is it, cap rate? Like, there's different ways to look at your numbers. So I'm happy to share knowledge or information I have from experience from all the properties we've purchased so far. To anything else you might want to know. If you want to run it by me just to see if the numbers make sense based on the sheet you've got, I'm game. Share it with me. This is the American dream right here. You know, people talk about the American dream and buying a home and, you know, all that. I feel like if you take that American dream a step further, it's really wealth building, so that, you know, we started with nothing. Like, our parents came here and had zero. Like, they came with the clothes on their back and started from scratch. And then we built on top of what they created from scratch. And now we can create a little bit more for our kids so that when it's their time, they've got a foundation. They're not starting from scratch. They've got something to build off of, build on top of, build and expand from. Money makes money, right? And I don't want to sound like, oh my God, money's everything. And, you know, a lot of people have a very weird relationship with money. But I always look at it this way, that first of all, don't get attached to your money because it could be gone, you know, overnight. Remain humble as you make your money. But money is only good for the good that it can do, right? If you do good with the money that you make, then more power to you. Make more, right? Give back more, help out more. But make sure that humility remains throughout, regardless what those numbers look like. Anyways, I'm rambling. I could talk forever, but I'm going to go visit my neighbor here, who I haven't seen in a while. But lots of love to you all. If you have any questions, hit me up. You know how to find me. And this is it. This is my little first love home that I got, 1105. Anyways, I will talk to you all very soon. Take care. Bye. Thanks for tuning in.